back in the summer of '69. Dad's been working in Champaign, this is Twin City, Champaign, Urbana. You don't know where one stops, the other starts. It's Wright Street though. Anyways, Dad's gonna move over closer to where his shop is, and Dad had a mechanic shop. He did front ends, brakes, alignment, stuff like that. And he owned 2 semis down here whenever we lived over here in Urbana. Sold those, bought the shop, and now he's going to go to work for a union company in Champaign, and we're going to move about 2 miles away from that. So let's ride over to Champaign and check that out. All right, I don't know what they call this now. One more thing before we leave Urbana. It's about 2 blocks from our house. Andre's Harley-Davidson's right behind me. This is the old folks home. I remember coming over to the old folks home whenever we was kids. We'd come over here and we'd see a guy named Alfred. Alfred used to walk around town. I'm gonna guess he was 75 to 80 years old, but he'd walk all over Urbana. Real nice to us kids, you know, and it sure was nice seeing Alfred, because our grandpa was in his 70s as well, but he lived about 20 miles south of here, so we didn't get to see him. So Alfred was kind of like a grandpa to us. Really cool. Then right behind me here is the old youth home here. I don't know if it's still a youth home or whatever, but I ain't gonna tell all my stories about that. Just in case that GoPro didn't come through, so 1969, right before we moved to Champaign, also me and my brother Mike were in the back seat of a 1969 Chevrolet. No, we were in the back of a '69 T-Bird. That's right. We just stole it from the car lot over here. John Ball's driving, and Ronnie Roberts, I don't know his first name. Anyways, in a stolen car, we're in the right lane right here, coming downtown Urbana. John decides to turn left, turn in front of a car with some old folks in it, about like me now. And we get T-boned, so what do? We got to jump out of the car, take off running. So I learned at an early age to run from the law. And check it out, there's the courthouse right there. So we didn't get far. We went through Lincoln Square right over here, a little shopping center. My brother got caught right away. Me, John, and Ronnie made it over to Robert's house, hid in the basement, but that didn't last long. Next thing you know, Paul Tapman, one of our finer Urbana police, shows up, which I'm glad it was Paul. Paul was good with us kids. Paul took us home, and I remember him chewing me out saying, "I'm gonna kick your ass and I'm taking you home and your dad's gonna kick your ass." So good thing back then all we did is get some good ass kickings, so no jail time out of that one. So this is where my dad's shop is, right up here on the corner. The shop's built in the little 45-degree angle. He bought it from Chuck Myers. It was Myers Brake and Alignment. So Dad was a mechanic whenever he was young. Now he's trying to get out of the truck driving stuff. He owned the 2 semis like I told you earlier, but he sold them. Bought him a shop here, that way he could be home every night with the family. And he did brakes and front end alignment. So this was his shop back in 1970, 71. And that's why we moved to Champaign. This here is the Art Theater right here on the right. It was an adult film house. I remember my older siblings, they would call it the sticky floor and laugh about it. I didn't know what they were talking about until I got a little bit older. Oh well, period. So over here on the left side is West Side Park, and I've got a West Side story for you. So we're all in high school, and got his friends we're hanging out with, me and my brother and a few other friends. You know, we're getting into trouble quite a bit. Anyways, the one friend wound up doing a little something wrong with another girl, and news of that got back to her brother-in-law, and her brother-in-law wound up killing him and hanging him in a tree over here. And there on my left-hand side is my old high school, and we'll talk about that later maybe, but right now we're going to go down here on Hill Street, so let's check it out. Alright, let me back up. I only did kindergarten through 5th grade in Urbana. Moved to Champaign in 1969 when I was 9 years old. I'm going to finish 6th grade over here, go to junior high, start high school. So we moved to this house over here on Hill Street, nice 2-story house. Remember, me and my brother Mike were in this front room here, upstairs. Alan and John in the back room, Connie downstairs. Had a basement. We didn't use the basement much. It was a little eerie. That motorcycle went around that house probably 1,000 to 2,000 times till mom and dad wasn't home. Then it went on this street, around the blocks, and we got in a little bit of trouble. But when we moved here in, I guess it was the summer of 1970 when we moved here. These are the Millers next door. When we moved in, I was in the upstairs window there, and one who was going to become one of my friends was Bobby Miller over here, and the driveway throws me the peace sign. So I threw him the peace sign, come downstairs, and I started smoking marijuana with Bobby Miller. So that's where the drugs began. Alcohol was going to soon follow. Just so happened our dealer lived in that house right there. So that worked out good, I guess. Another little story from this neighborhood is there was this guy, can't remember his name. Anyways, he was a big kid, probably 3-4 years older than me. Anyways, for some reason we got into it one day, and I didn't care, big, small, whatever. I'll beat you up if I can, or I'll try. So I chased him over here. Remember, he ran in his grandparents' house. I kicked in the door, and then later on this kid winds up murdering somebody to steal all the tools from, I think it was Mac Tools. Anyways, he lived in that yellow house right over there with his grandparents. Here I am chasing him down, wanting to fight him. He could have killed me right then. Wound up killing somebody else later on. So we lived over here for 1 year. Junior high school, we're going to move on that side of the street. This is the boundary lines for which high school and everything you're going to go to. Junior high school, so I was right on the outer boundaries for going to school. So I'm going to take you right down the street, show you where we moved to on Russell. Alright, so we moved over here to 506 North Russell. It's been about 3 years, maybe 3.5 years there. And then from there we moved to Arizona. So here I got my best friend next door, Andy Freeman, and he wound up marrying one of the girls I dated in high school, and they got married and had kids. They got grandkids and all that now. So anyways, and Jerry Easton lived on the corner. John Scott lived down the road, another good friend. Had a lot of friends in this neighborhood. You know, I'm turning teenager now, and a lot of things are starting to happen in life, you know. So this is a good neighborhood. The clubhouse was right around the corner, the motorcycle clubhouse, and maybe I'll tell some stories about that, maybe not. Anyways, it entails a little bit more trouble, so I'll probably just keep that out of it. But anyways, the clubhouse was around the corner, and a lot of stories back in the day. Alright, I think that's going to do it for this video. Gonna just cruise through the neighborhoods right now, go through my old park, check out some other stuff. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining me.